speaking of really good offensive players, let's go to my 3-unit pick. I'm falling for the bait, taking the Chiefs, however you want to put it. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs, getting 1.5 points when I put it in. I think might be up to 2 now. At Buffalo, taking on the Bills. The Chiefs obviously undefeated. The Bills, I believe, are 8-2, 7-2, 2-loss team, I believe. Some interesting stuff in this game. I saw CBS Sports CEO David Burson told the AP that the CBS made this game their top request for the entire season. He said, "We felt like as a home of the AFC, we should continue to tell that story." CBS also bringing NFL Today pregame show to Buffalo, which is something that they only do for the conference championship and the Super Bowl. Now you might be saying, what does that matter? And it really doesn't matter to anything. But my pick here, it's as square as it gets, but I'm doing the narrative thing. I don't care. Like, I think this is going to feel like a playoff game. It's being treated like a playoff game. It's 2 legitimate Super Bowl contenders. If that's the case, give me the Chiefs. Like, I know it hasn't looked pretty. It is not. It's been really bad. And actually, they're going to trip up somewhere sooner than later, and they're probably not going to win the Super Bowl because I don't think they're good enough. But I'm contradicting myself a little bit here. I think they can still reach back like a pitcher and get 98 in the 7th inning when they need to. And I think this is the 7th inning for them in this regard. We saw it with the 49ers game a few weeks ago. I thought that was one where they really stepped up defensively. They sacked Purdy 3 times, picked him off 3 times. They were up by 2 touchdowns late in that game until the 49ers scored a meaningless touchdown. I look at 2. Buffalo has played not a ton of great defenses. I think most of them are in the second half of the league by DVOA, except for Houston, a game that they lost. They only scored 20 points in there. So I do wonder if this Chiefs defense comes in and gives them fits. On the other side, sure, the Chiefs offense does not look good, and the Buffalo defense is good. But I do think Kansas City is going to find a way to turn the ball over on defense in a big spot that's going to ice the win for them. Also, Josh Allen. He's thrown, I think, 4 picks in the last 3 weeks after not throwing any in the first 7 weeks of the season. But this has kind of been a consistent trend for him over the course of the season. I think only 4 quarterbacks have more turnover-worthy passes than Allen this season. So I do think there's an opportunity here for an advantageous Kansas City defense to take advantage of maybe some mistakes there from Allen. And then 2, our good friend Ben Fox put this out. Mahomes in his career, 12-1-1 against the spread as an underdog with 11 outright wins. 11 outright wins in 14 games as an underdog is truly insane. So, again, this is just going to feel like the Super Bowl in November. This is a chili day. I'm telling you out front. This is get the chili in the crock pot early, or whatever food you want to go to, whatever your big Sunday in the fall football watching meal is, get in the crock pot so it's ready for halftime of this game. The sun sets early. This is going to feel like a big game, and if that's the case, give me the Chiefs.
That's one of those trends that I look at and I'm like, there's something to that. Some of them you can throw away and chalk them up as just trends, but how many times do you have to see it play
And I don't even think it has to be intangible necessarily. I don't think they look at it as I don't think the Chiefs go in insulted and just take it out on their team. I just think they're always arguably the better team in every game that they play. It's just
from these 2 teams, I could totally see a scenario where Buffalo just beats the piss out of them.
I agree. And then
they rematch.
Then the Chiefs beat them in the playoffs.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if that's the case, I gotta think that's Buffalo coming out early and scoring 21 points in the first quarter or something and running away and hiding, because I don't know if Kansas City has
Buffalo to just beat the bag out of them and then lose them in the playoffs.
Yeah. So, because I don't think Kansas City necessarily has the big comeback capability that maybe it had in recent years. So
they haven't needed it though.
Well, that's the thing. So if you're Buffalo, the way to win this game is, I know it's pretty easy to say it, but you come out, you get on the board early, you get up a couple of touchdowns, and then try to salt the thing away.
48 in rain showers on Sunday in Buffalo, in Orchard Park. So
I've been trying to figure out who I like coming out of the AFC, and I think I'm starting to settle on Buffalo a little bit. I don't know. It feels a little different this year.
Yeah,
the hype is a little toned down. I like it.
And I do think the Chiefs, it goes both ways, right? It's it depends how you want to see it. It's either they are just resilient as hell and they just find ways to win even when they don't have any business winning, or this is going to run out at some point, and it probably happens at the worst time. And if it's the latter, like they lose to the Chargers in the divisional round or something, and all of a sudden the Chargers go in a game they have no business being in, they have to go to Orchard Park and play the Bills, right? And if it falls that way, then you got to love the Bills. And that's the other thing, too. If the Bills win this game, that thing goes through Western New York probably. So
have you looked at the...
Well, maybe not, because then the Chiefs only have 1 point loss.
The Chiefs' schedule. Well, that was going to be my next point. Have you looked at the Chiefs' schedule for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's mostly the...
pinpoint any losses.
It's mostly divisional games, right? I know they have a Christmas game. Is that...
They do. They have a Christmas game. They got a Black Friday game.
They're all over the place.
They got Sunday night at home against the Chargers, who you just mentioned. I could see them losing like 3 games down the stretch.
I think if they lose one, the floodgates open.
I think
like going Pittsburgh, Denver to end the season around the holidays. Like
either one of those games they could lose, man. Especially if they have like
cold,
the number
both
one
on the
seed
road.
locked up.
Yeah.
That Houston game is not a gimme. Honestly, they might get got on Black Friday by the Raiders. That's just you start factor in weird scheduling quirks and things like that. I don't know.
Did they lose that Christmas game last year? They didn't lose in that game, the Jack Jones pick 6 game.
Maybe. I don't know.
I can effort that. I'm literally on Pro Football
Feels like
Reference.
years ago.
It does. I mean, it was basically a year. Yeah, they lost to the Raiders 20-14 on Christmas.
All right, there you go. Repeat.
Lightning doesn't strike twice. Yeah. All right. So as you prepare for the holidays, why not give the gift of our podcast to all of your friends and family? Tell them about the spread on Nesson's family of vodcast/podcast. Catch it at Spotify, Apple Podcasts. If you want to watch us, throw this on. Instead of the Yule log, throw our faces up on the big screen. You can do that on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. So please join us every week here Thursdays for the rest of the season.